Hey, Rudy. Now you know. Now you know I've arrived, huh? How you doing, man? All right. What's that word that you lost up? What was the word that you lost up? Yeah, you couldn't say it, remember? Probationary. It's in there.
Stop.
Oh, God.
That was a tough one.
1 minute.
Okay. I forgot to worry about that. Yeah, these are the speeds. So we have that on tonight, right? Ready, Nancy? I would like to call the 7 p.m. work session meeting to order. Roll call, please, Nancy.
Sure. Mr. Boonstra? Mr. Lane?
Present.
Mr. Madigan?
I hear.
Mr. Shanley?
Here.
And Mayor Malchione.
Here. Can you please read the open work session statement?
Yes, sir. This regular work session meeting of the Wykoff Township Committee is now in session. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting appears on our annual schedule of meetings. A copy of said annual schedule has been posted on the bulletin board in Memorial Town Hall. A copy has been filed with the municipal clerk and has been posted on our municipal website. A copy has also been emailed to the Record, the Ridgewood News, and the North Jersey Herald News, all newspapers having a general circulation throughout the Township of Wykoff. At least 48 hours prior to this meeting, the agenda thereof was similarly posted, filed, and emailed to said newspapers.
Thank you. Can you please confirm finance has reviewed and signed vouchers?
They have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I please have a motion to open the 10-minute public comment period. 10-minute public comment period, 2 minutes per speaker for public comment on any governmental issue that a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of the Township of Wykoff.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Boonstra? Mr. Lane?
Aye.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Malchione.
Yes. Please step forward to the microphone if you wish to make a comment.
Seeing and hearing no one, I move to close public comment.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Lane?
Aye.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Melchione.
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
Thank you. Now to the fun part of the meeting tonight. We're going to have our presentation of the proclamations to the Ramapo boys basketball team for their winning the NJSIAA Group 3 state championship. Congratulations. So just bear with me for a minute while I read this, and I apologize before if I pronounce any names wrong. Whereas the 2023-24 Ramapo High School boys varsity basketball team is the 2024 NJSIAA Group 3 boys basketball state champion for the second year in a row, having soundly defeated Freehold High School by a score of 94-7 on March 10th, 2024 at RWJ Barnabas Health Arena in Toms River, New Jersey. After dominating each of their previous NJSIAA state tournament games over Teaneck High School 82-44 in the sectional semifinal and Northern Highlands High School 50-34 in the Group 3 North 1 sectional final, both at Ramapo High School, and Colonia High School 49-31 at Bloomfield High School in the Group 3 semifinal. And whereas this exceptional team finished their season with an overall record of 25 wins and 8 losses and finished the season ranked number 7 overall in the state of New Jersey in the NJ.com Top 20, and also the number 1 Group 3 team and the number 2 team in the Big North Conference, number 2 in North Jersey by the Bergen Record, and also earned the title of Large Group Team of the Year by the Bergen County Coaches Association. And whereas, in addition to winning the Group 3 state championship, the team also won the Big North Freedom Division title with an 8-0 record in league play, and for the first time since 1993, reached the Bergen County Jamboree Tournament final after defeating Bergen Catholic High School in the semifinal. And whereas the 2023-24 Ramapo High School boys varsity team benefited greatly from the dedication, commitment, and leadership of head coach Nick Veer and assistant coach Jim Rigg, Tyrell Biggs, Craig Nichols, and Dan Rigg, and team manager Sam Kutzenoff. And whereas special thanks is extended to the parents, coaches, and all the Ramapo students, educators, and administration for their never-ending commitment and support. And whereas a special group of athletes, sophomore Michael Moody, junior Hudson Beauchamp, Ryan Goldman, Peter Keith, Jack Sposa, Connor Young, and Charlie Wingfield, and senior Chris Servino, Wyatt Ellington Manor, James Gamper, Corey Jones, Jordan Ricks, Zachary Snorbush, and Peyton Sales achieved these extraordinary feats due to their commitment to unselfish team play, tireless work ethic, outstanding basketball skills, and their overall commitment to the sport of basketball. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Township Committee of the Township of Wyckoff, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, that the 2023-24 Ramapo High School boys varsity basketball team, Coach Nick Veer and his staff are hereby extended congratulations on behalf of our entire community for the significant successes they have achieved, and our thanks for serving as positive role models for the young athletes of our community and for illustrating the rewards which can be achieved through commitment and diligence in pursuing excellence. Congratulations. Before we come up for the proclamations, we're just going to have the Township Committee say a few words. Tom, you want to start?
Yeah, I just want to say congratulations on repeat as state champs. Tremendous teamwork effort. I had the opportunity to, I don't know how it was done, but guys at the place I was watching the game and was cheering you on. And I also want to make special note, captains Ellington, Wyatt Ellington Manor, Chris Savino, and Peyton Seals have been playing together on the team since freshmen. And they all scored over 1,000 points in their careers, which is just unheard of and never done before. So special accolades, fellas. And as a former board member on the Ramapo Indian Hills Board of Education, we have Mr. Badansky here tonight from the board. Thank you for coming, Mr. Badansky. One of the things we were always most proud of was our student athletes. And Wyatt is the valedictorian this year, so that's pretty special. And I understand you're going to be going to Johns Hopkins, and Peyton is going to be going to Princeton. And the other guys, I don't know, but I heard about you two guys, and I just wanted to mention that. And I know that you'll do us proud in the future. Congratulations again.
I'll be brief. I think that what really jumps off the page for me, and I think it was probably a really great victory, was beating Bergen Catholic High School. Right? I mean, it doesn't show right now, but I used to run track in New Milford, and we used to play against bigger schools that could draw from a whole ton of people. So for you guys to win that game in particular, I'm sure it was sweet. So congratulations on all your victories, and you'll see many, many more in the future. Congrats.
Congratulations, 2 years in a row. It's amazing. And Wyatt, you had a great season. I know you got injured last season and the team picked it up and still won it, but it was even easier to win it this year than it was last year because you had a great season. So congratulations, and congratulations on becoming the valedictorian. I know that just got announced by Ramapo this week, but not only were you a good athlete, you're a damn good student. So congratulations, it's very important. And Peyton, my youngest son, TJ, he wanted to always go to the games to see you, and you're one of your biggest fans. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get to see Peyton tonight. I'm like, oh, that's great. So you had a fan in TJ. So hopefully he can play like you at some point someday, but he's only in 4th grade. So, but congratulations. I know, Bergen Catholic was a huge win, but I also loved watching you beat Northern Highlands because I have a freshman and a sophomore in Ramapo, and we like to beat Northern Highlands. So congratulations. All right.
Yeah, just congratulations again on back-to-back state champs and making it to the finals of the Jamboree. Long time ago, 20 years ago, I was in that tournament when I went to Beckton, and we did not do well in that. So congratulations, and come up for some proclamations and a few pictures.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks.
We're gonna move this so we take a photo.
Before we take pictures, Coach, you want to say anything?
Thank you to the committee for having us. It's a tremendous honor. I think you guys touched upon most of the highlights that we had during the season. I'll just add, and we did touch upon, how great the students these boys are. But it's been a privilege and an honor to coach these guys. They show up every day to work hard. I think they're great role models in our community, great students, and great basketball players as they are. They're great people. I think that's what I'm most proud of, and I think they represent our school and our community very, very well. So thank you again for having us, and we hope to be back here again next year.
Matt, you get this picture?
Keep smiling.
We need one more.
Cheese. Thank you,
All right. I went to Don Bosco.
If he went to Don Bosco, Massachusetts.
That's right. As soon as I saw you come up, I gotta bring that up.
Congratulations.
Yeah, just set it down. He has all stuff.
I only have to do 87 more to catch me. Thank you.
Oh yeah. There's nothing really to report. It was fun going to their games all season.
Item 7. What? Item 7. Oh, no.
Yeah. All right. Matt, could we please have the administrator report, please?
Sure. So on tonight's agenda, you have several resolutions. Resolution 150 is a resolution we passed last year and flipped through our slipped through the cracks this year to get on rework. It's just confirming our applicable bid threshold of $44,000 and confirming my authority to award window contracts. Those are the contracts between $17,500 and $44,000. 151 is another affordability assistance grant with Christian Health. This one's for Evergreen Court Unit 13. This is funds from our Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Resolution 152 is a resolution that amends Resolution 117 of this year, correcting a veteran's exemption for 350 Smith Place. 153 is a resolution in recognition that today is World Autism Day, Autism Awareness Day. And 154 is a resolution authorizing the execution of a private sewer extension agreement with 673 Vance Avenue in Franklin Lakes. This will be our first single-family home that will be able to connect from Franklin Lakes into the Whitehall sewer system. I expect that we will be able to do more of these in the future. Now that we have worked out a billing arrangement with the Borough of Franklin Lakes, in which they will bill their residents and we will bill Franklin Lakes, and if there's any non-payment, Franklin Lakes will handle that through the tax lien process. We have one ordinance for introduction, which is an ordinance to amend Schedule S of our vehicles and traffic section, specifically having to do with speed limits. This is a recommendation from our police department and our township engineer to lower speed limits on several roads in the town. These are municipal-owned roads, not county roads. And I will, if you give me 1 second, just pull up those streets so that we have them for you.
Matt, I got them if you want. If you want to search one.
Yeah. You have them?
It should be in the
I got it.
ordinance, right?
It is.
All right, sorry. It's Clinton Ave, Eder Ave, Grandview Ave, Hillcrest Ave, Lawlands Road, Newtown Road. There's a so we'll have a we'll have a public hearing on that ordinance at our next meeting, April 16th. There's one motion with regard to the Zabriskie House and their Bergen County History Day event. And then we have one ordinance for public hearing this evening, which is an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. And that is an ordinance that we pass every year in ahead of the municipal budget. It's not saying that we are exceeding our cap bank, even though that's what it says, that the budget caps, even though that's what it says in the title. It's an ordinance that actually banks whatever cap we have left for future use if we need it. Onto the policy action items. I just hope that everyone had a great Easter, and for those that are celebrating Ramadan, happy Eid next week. The mayor and I attended a meeting with the mayors and administrators from the 5th Congressional District, which was arranged by Congressman Gottheimer's office to discuss federal grants and appropriations. And I did find this very helpful, and we hope to use some of this knowledge to take back some of that federal dollars that our Wyckoff residents have been paying and bring it back here into Wyckoff. We're currently working on 2 bigger grants. The first is the Bergen County Open Space Grant for work at Polis Field. There'll be a public hearing which has to be done prior to the submission of this grant. That'll be held also at our next meeting, April 16th, at the work session meeting. We are applying to take back some of that Bergen County open space money to assist in constructing a lacrosse practice field at Polis Field, practice area at Polis Field, and this will be supplementing money that the lacrosse community has been diligently soliciting. Any additional monies that we are able to receive will be allocated for improvements to Polis Field, the Polis Field site itself. And we're working with our grant writers on preparing a federal appropriation submission to our U.S. Senators and Congressman Gottheimer's office for the installation of a sanitary sewer trunk line between Franklin Ave and Russell Ave along Wyckoff Ave. This project aims to extend the sanitary sewer trunk line and expand the sewer service area to approximately 196 homes. As you know, about 4 or 5 years ago, the Congress has changed the name of their hot ticket items to congressional appropriations, and improvements to sewage infrastructure is one of, water and sewer infrastructure is one of the top projects, and that is rated very high on those approvals. So we felt that this would be a great time to apply for some federal money and try and see what we can get to extend that sewer service area into the Hartung. The area for Hartung and Carlton and all those roads that currently rely on septic can finally connect to the sewer system. This is the last call for anybody who has any content for the summer newsletter. Please get it to me by tomorrow so we can finalize the content in that newsletter. Curbing and right-of-way work on Grandview Ave improvement project started about a month ago. We ran into an issue with the depth of the gas main on Grandview Ave in the hump area between St. Nicholas Church and Lowey Place. I want to thank reps from PSE&G who jumped on our request and met us on site today to work on developing a solution. We will discuss more once we hear back from PSE&G, but ultimately, if we're going to remove the hump out of the road, PSE&G needs to come in and lower the gas main that's in the road currently. The closure of Grandview Ave may not happen the week of April 15th, but we'll keep everyone apprised on that through our social media and our e-news. We met on site with Orange and Rockland last week to discuss the relocation of 2 utility poles that need to be relocated on Lawlands Road as part of that partial road reconstruction project. One is on the corner of Burritt, and one is on the property of Adams Farm. Both of them are in the area in which the road is going to be, so they need to be moved back. Reps from O&R were very helpful, and hopefully we'll hear back from them in the next week or so as to some success on that petition. Some people, you may have noticed that some shade trees have been removed from Russell Farms Community Park and have started to be replanted throughout the town. 2 of them specifically were planted at houses where trees were removed on Grandview Avenue. That replanting is being done at the direction of the Shade Tree Commission. Joe Vanderplatt, Anna, and myself have one more webinar that we're going to be taking next Tuesday regarding the required shade tree ordinance. We have a draft, and we're working on finalizing that draft so that we can share it with the Shade Tree Commission and the Township Committee with the hopes of introducing it in the very near future. More to come on that. We have successfully migrated all our cellular devices, phones, and data devices, administration, police department, and DPW, and fire department from Verizon to FirstNet, which is the interoperable public safety broadband network operated by AT&T. The parking lot lights at the Larkin House have been converted to LED, which we've been able to drop the amperage at the Larkin House by half by doing that. The new state law amending the New Jersey Fair Housing Act was signed by the governor last week against, I'm going to say, almost every municipality in New Jersey sending a resolution asking them not to pass it as it was written, but they did. I will be meeting with our affordable housing planner tomorrow to discuss the impact it has on Wyckoff. This is a save the date. The annual fireworks show will be on September 28th. And due to conflicts the 2 weeks before and the 3 weeks after, there is no rain date planned. And then finally, a PSA from the police department. The Wyckoff Police Department is proud to announce the new program to help people with autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, during a traffic stop. It's called the Blue Envelope Program. The goal of this program is to avoid any misunderstandings between officers and individuals with ASD. If someone with ASD gets pulled over, the driver presents the blue envelope. The driver will keep a copy of their driver's licenses, registration card, and current insurance card, and an emergency contact list inside that envelope. Outside the blue envelope contains instructions to the driver, like keep your hands on the wheel, and a warning about flashing lights and noises. The reverse side of the envelope contains instructions for the police officer, such as simplifying requests, and if the driver becomes upset, to contact a person on the emergency contact card. A checked off box will also indicate whether the driver is verbal or nonverbal. If you have a loved one and you would like to participate in the Blue Envelope program, all you have to do is stop at the police department or call our main number, which is 201-891-2121, and an officer will drop off the blue envelope to you. The program is currently only available to Township of Wyckoff residents. And that completes my report for this evening.
Thank you, Matt. Township committee reports. Tim, you want to start?
Sure, I'll start. Fireworks committee met on March 28th. The only date that really works for the fireworks, as Matt just said, is September 28th, because the weekend before is the Greek festival. And then if you're going to go into October, it's Rosh Hashanah, which is, I believe, the 3rd and the 4th, and you're going to move into Yom Kippur on the 12th. So we're hoping that we're going to be able to do it without having a rain date, because we don't have a rain date. So hopefully we'll be able to have them. I know last year in September we got rained out twice and we couldn't have it. So hopefully we can bring them back September 28th of this year. The design review board, who has not met met many times in the past couple of years, just had their second meeting last night because the Abbott family properties at 397 Franklin, which had been before the zoning board and the design review before, wanted to change the color of what they were doing. So they brought the new color in, and the design review board looked at it last night and they approved it. I think it went from light gray to light brown. And all of them, everybody on the board liked it. The zoning board also met on the third Thursday of March. They gave a 1-year extension to a property on Lafayette that was approved last year on May 30th. So they haven't been able to do the construction, so they gave them a 1-year extension on it. They also gave a variance for a portico on Morley Drive. They also gave an approval of a modest rebuild on Eastview Terrace. And then they also had 811 Wyckoff Avenue. It's a complete tear down. They asked them to come back because they felt they had too many non-conformities. So they'll be coming back at the next meeting in March, in April. And that's all I have. That's
Thank you.
Thanks.
Roger?
Okay, excuse me. Under shade tree, Matt already reported, as you can see from the Russell Community Park, trees already have been replaced to other areas. One thing that I'm, when I first joined the committee, that I've always been like a pet peeve is the speeding in town. So the fact that we're making some alterations to some of these speed limits on some of the streets is absolutely tremendous. I'm gonna meet with Brian Zivkovich, the sergeant who's in charge of that, and I think that we can add some additional streets to it as we move forward. We'll just have to review it with them because they're obviously the ones that make the recommendations. But in particular, when you talk about Grandview Ave with everything that's happening there, and Coolidge School being there, it's near and dear to me because I have some grandchildren that are there. Being able to slow that traffic down before they even hit the school is going to be a tremendous benefit. Plus, once public service gets that line moved, we can get the whole project complete. So,
If I may interrupt you just
Sure,
for 1 second,
sure.
and it's something I neglected to report in my report. The borough of Hawthorne has already passed an ordinance and reduced the speed limit on Grandview Ave in their section of town. That was done, it was their final reading on that was last week. So
Perfect.
those signs will probably be going up this week, if not next week,
What did they go down to?
25.
25.
So we'll be matching that entire length of Grandview Ave from Hawthorne
Yeah.
at, I don't want to call it Sycamac because it's not Sycamac.
yeah, Coolidge.
Goffle Hill Road.
Goffle Hill Road,
Yeah, right.
Goffle Hill Road
Yeah.
Wyckoff.
Wyckoff Ave will all
Right.
be 25 miles an hour all the time, not just in front of the school.
That's sweet. Hopefully, when they reduce the speed limit there, but two things. Firstly, they need some road paving in that particular area. As anybody that's traveled it knows. And I think the other key thing that I'm going to talk to Brian about is enforcement. I mean, it's one thing to have these speed limits reduced, but unless there's enforcement, it may fall on deaf, heavy feet, so to speak. Let's see, I missed the fireworks committee meeting. I had another obligation, but I'll be there with Tim at the next meeting, and if there's any changes to what has been reported already, I'll be happy to report on that at the next meeting. I think that's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Roger.
Okay.
Tom?
Yeah, I just had one question on the fireworks. Was Sunday night considered as a possibility as a rain date?
Sundays were not considered at all.
Okay. And I'm very partial to Sundays, but I know all our kids play sports all day Sunday. So I certainly wouldn't object to a rain date on Sunday night, particularly when we're going to the expense to put on a fireworks show. So I would ask that that be considered and then brought back whether the governing body thinks we could do it on, if it's available, should it be work, could we have it on that Sunday night?
Sure. We have a follow-up meeting scheduled.
It's gonna be
or-
dark, so
So-
it's Sunday night.
I believe we have a follow-up meeting scheduled for a Wednesday in May. I think it's the first,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken. Not the date, it's the first Wednesday in May. We'll bring it back to the committee, when we're all there, and we'll see what's possible and we'll report back.
Okay, so just not to beat a dead horse, but the sooner the better. I'm just wanting, for the record, I'm in favor of a rain date on Sunday the 29th. I don't wanna wait till the middle of May and find out, well, the guy's not available, we didn't realize this, because that's 6 weeks from now. That's my only comment.
Duly
Okay.
noted.
Okay, so, just a couple of things, really only one thing, but I am happy to see the ordinance coming up tonight on the speed limits, reducing some of those streets, some of our favorite streets. I know that as police commissioner, deputy police commissioner, Rudy and I have been discussing it with the police the last few years, and I want to thank Peter, police commissioner, and Roger, deputy police commissioner. It's positive for our residents. There are a bunch of streets that clearly we've been trying to work on. Takes time for the police to do their studies, to look at it, to recommend, to compare, so thank you guys. I just think it's good for our residents, as Roger had said. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Just on the police, I know we talked about the speed of the signs, but also we've prioritized over the last few years here in Wyckoff to pedestrian safety. We've had a pretty aggressive plan of installing the speed calming signs and crosswalks. We got them around all of the schools. That was our first priority, and then we went out to some key select streets around town to try to slow the traffic down there. So Tom and Rudy took the lead on that the last few years, and it's great to see we're making progress here in Wyckoff.
Could I just add something real quick to that? At Coolidge School, and Matt, I want to thank you, Matt. There were a number of crosswalks. I believe it was a total of 4. There were 4 crosswalks. So if you imagine in a couple of 100 yards, all of these crosswalks, all of the traffic kept getting backed up. People are crossing in between all kinds of cars, and there's only one crossing guard. So that's been alleviated by having one crossing area with the crossing guard that is with the appropriate lighting and everything else. Now it's a matter of educating the public, having people on site. I know that Matt prepared a letter that was delivered to the school principal, and I believe that's been shared with every parent that does the pickup. So you know, in the beginning it may seem like, well, why can't I cross the street here? Well, because it just messes up the whole flow of traffic, and it's a lot safer to have just the single crosswalk. And I think the people that made that design should be commended. Now it's a matter of education and making sure that everybody's aware that that's where they need to cross the street. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, I thought that was something
great.
that
It was a great point.
needed to add.
Great point. And then just lastly, I'm on talking about, since we're on the subject right now, I know it's something we have to work with the county on, but I would love to see Wyckoff Ave come down from 40 miles an hour. You know,
So I wasn't gonna mention that because it's something that it's in the works.
Yeah.
But it's something that has to be done in a step-by-step process. But we are looking, I'll bring it up, I'm not gonna commit to anything, but we are looking at the reduction of Wyckoff Ave from the intersection of Wyckoff and Godwin to right around Lawrence Court, to be lowered from 35 to 30. Yes. It already is 30 miles an hour from Lawrence Court. Well, it might not be signed appropriately. We're working on that right now. It already from the area of Lawrence Court, or right before Lawrence Court, to right past the nursery school on the property of the Reformed Church at 30 miles an hour. And then it goes back up to 35 as it passes Cornerstone Church and Community Park. And then for some reason, as it passes Community Park, it jumps up to 40.
Yeah.
So we are looking at trying to get a uniform speed limit along Wyckoff Ave. preferably in the 30 number.
That would be great.
Oh,
Does
thank
that
you.
have to get set by the county?
It does,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
why I'm not saying we're not committing to anything. We've already started conversations with the county engineer. If you recall, when we lowered the speed limit on Sycamac, or when the county lowered the speed limit on Sycamac, that process took about 16 months for the county to do their study, get the freeholders on board. Hopefully, we can get the study done quicker, and once the study is done and they share the results with us, then we can use our connections to speak with our county administrator, the county executive, his staff, and the freehold and the commissioners. I'm sorry, to get that pushed through in less than 16 months.
Great.
Thank you, Matt.
Excellent.
I also attended the library board meeting last week. Their business as usual over there, doing an excellent job for Wyckoff. Roger, I, and Matt attended the Hope Christian Disability Awareness Breakfast. I think that was last week or the week before? 2 weeks ago. And it was a great breakfast, and they had a ribbon cutting for a new wing there. They made some really, really big renovations for their residents and their more for their patients. It was really something to see. Matt mentioned attended the grant seminar at Bergen Community College. It was very informal. You know, it's always been one of our goals here as personnel and finance over the last 2 years, and along with Matt. I mean, Matt's knowledge on grants is, I don't know how he knows all this stuff, but he does an excellent job. But we also brought in a grant writer, and it's worth every penny of it. We're trying to bring as much dollars here into Wyckoff to help us with, especially offset some of the stuff in our budget. And then just lastly, the military tribute banners are on sale. I know we had, over the last few years, we've had a lot of people purchase them. We actually got to the point where we had to take some out of service, so there has to be some repurchasing because of the UV lighting. We do keep them up from Memorial Day through Veterans Day. That about after 3 or 4 years, they do need to be repurchased, but we do still have the banners on sale. You don't have, the veteran does not have to lived in Wyckoff. It could be any resident of Wyckoff, any family member from wherever they are, if they want to honor them. It's always great to when these start going up around Memorial Day, and they're available till April 24th for purchase. And that's all I have this
I
evening.
have one other thing.
Yes, Tom.
If you want to talk about the 911.
No, you have all the info.
Yeah, I just have one other thing that I thought the mayor would bring up since I brought it to his attention. I know he's in the middle of it, but I was approached about Wyckoff being involved in doing a national museum being planned in Virginia, outside of Washington, D.C., where they're trying to get memorialization, audio and video of people that have memories from September 11th, 2001. So whether you were a first responder on the scene, you lost a loved one, what your town across America did on that particular day, what was your personal experience, and with 90%, I know you're working on a little bit, Mr. Mayor, maybe that's why you didn't want to say it, so I hope I didn't get ahead of it, but putting it together, and then the folks that are running this would come to Wyckoff, would set a date, it would probably be the middle to the end of May, and coordinate it with you. I know you work with the library, and see what people we have in town that might be interested in sharing their personal experience. We all know where we were that day, but it's already 22.5 years, so in a blink it'll be gone. So that could be exciting for our town, and I think we'll have more information collectively, and then we can plug it.
Yep, thank you, Tom.
Pete, just for the record, I just want to add the name Brian Clark to that. He's been on many
Yeah, he's great.
documentaries. He was one of the, a handful of people that the plane hit the second tower below where he was, and he survived. And he's an eloquent speaker, and he
Great.
just, he's amazing to listen to his story. So Brian Clark, I'll remind
absolutely.
you as you proceed.
Thank you, Roger. Township Attorney Report. Dave?
Yes, Matt mentioned Resolution 24-154, the private sewer extension. just to follow up on that, that's with a resident in Franklin Lakes, and I do think we're gonna have some more of those. But just to understand the financing is, they have to pay their connection fees before they connect up, and then we bill Franklin Lakes each year. Then it's up to them to bill the resident. They'll have till October 1 to pay us. But Franklin Lakes is obligated to pay us. If the resident doesn't pay, Franklin Lakes has to pony up the money, and then they can put the lien or go after that resident, because we're not able to do that. But we will be guaranteed the money, because we're billing Franklin Lakes on that.
Is there any idea how many homes potentially it could be? Or?
I don't know, that might not bear be. I know we have one in the wings that has come to my attention, but we haven't gone too much further. I'm not sure what they're actually doing, but they're interested in doing it, but I'm sure there's gonna be a few more. I don't know whether.
So we have a pump station that was recently renovated in that area. So we have the capacity for it. So as long as the slope is there that can get it to a manhole in Wyckoff, Vance Ave, and then we also have Wayfair Circle and
That's one of the
Wayfair
ones
Lane
we're working on
that
right
could
now.
possibly also connect into the area. So pretty much that entire area off of Vance, bordering Ramapo High School, that is currently on septic. As long as the pitch is there for the sewer line to be built,
Yeah.
they could connect if they want.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
That's it.
That's it. Thank you. Motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Mr. Lane?
Aye.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Melchiong?
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
Thank you, Nancy.
Excellent.